Okay, is everyone ready? Yeah, good stuff. So what we're going to go over today is door and window styles, which is a new feature in Vectorworks 2017. I've just started it, so you should be able to. It should be live now. Is anyone like Rachel now, or are we going to bring it on? Okay, I've emailed her, so hopefully she's yeah. Yeah, film. Okay. Right, okay, yeah. No. Okay, cool. So this is a new feature in 2017 that will help us manage. Oh, sorry, I didn't manage you. Yeah, no, that's fine. Can we like screencast the call to everyone? Okay, cool. So it's going to help us manage different windows. So it means that you can give windows or doors sort of settings across the whole project, and then change certain settings, like say the size and shape of the window, on a window by window basis. And we can also import styles from manufacturers as well. And that means we can make sure our windows are the same as what we want to specify. There's a limited range at the minute of manufacturers, but it will sort of improve as things go forward. So what we'll do is we'll start off by importing a window from a manufacturer. So if everyone could get up their resource manager. And if we, actually what would be easier is if we select this window here on the ground floor. And if you look at the style here, which is just below set position, and we want to go, yeah, replace. And then we can choose a style to replace it with. If we click on that, it'll bring up our resource browser, and it will automatically take us to where we've got all our windows. If you see on the left-hand side here, we've got Vectorworks libraries, and that's where our default objects are. So if you minimize those, Gerald Wen are available in the UK, Low-NR, and then if we go right down to the bottom, we've got Velfac UK settings. We've obviously specified Velfac on. All right. Let's just, so is anyone else hand up if you've not got the libraries? If you go to the, okay, so first thing to check before we do this is if we open our resource manager and we click on the little cog, and if you click refresh all libraries, or refresh libraries, that should update your subscription libraries and add them to the resource browser. We may have to have a small pause. Yeah. So if you've already got those, maybe you could just cancel and let Kate and Becky know.
Yeah. Did you sign the
It's up to you. Should we keep going and you can sort of catch up? So if you click replace here, and you can choose any window, it doesn't have to be a Belfac one, so there are some generic windows you can probably choose and do the same thing as the workshop. So if you click on the choose style to replace with, and that brings up your library styles. So hopefully you've got some generic windows, you've got some pretty funky looking sort of slanted windows and other sorts of windows, some that Max might be familiar with from Morocco. But if we go down, we've also got Belfac, which is some windows that we may specify in a project. And what we can do is we can select one of these. I'm just going to choose the first one, just because it's easier, and click select, and click OK. And you can see that my window, although it's not changed significantly, has now been replaced by a Belfac window. Has everyone followed that bit? So there's a few little annoyances, I guess, with the window that brings in that we just need to change. So if we go to our resource manager again and click on the window door styles, so make sure you've got this file selected. And then if you just select in this drop down here, so this is the filter, so it filters out the objects we don't see. Select symbols and plugin objects. Okay.
Symbols and what?
Plugin objects. Sorry, do you want to go? Okay. We'll just pause a sec. Sorry? So you've got the window in? Yeah, great. Everyone else ready to sit it? Okay, so if we just click on the Belfac window, if we found it in our resource browser, right click and go to edit. This brings up some settings. So what you'll notice here, if you click on any of these, and let's choose one that's maybe, if we go to general settings, you can see that some have got the little arrow symbol, which means that that's set by window style. And some of them, such as elevation and wall, have got like two little slidey controls, and that means that it's set on a window by window basis. Do you want to slow down a sec? No, that's exactly right. Yeah. Yes, if you edit that. So what you'll see, if everyone moves to the general tab, and if we look at, say, window shape, so this top one, window shape here, and you can see there's a little arrow to the left of it. Yeah, and that means that it's done on a window style, so it's across the whole project. But if you look at, say, elevation and wall down the bottom, that's got two little slidey controls. And that is done on a window by window basis, so each window can have a different height in the wall. So these windows are available in different sizes, even though you'll note that its width and height is done on a project-wide basis. So if we just change those now so that we can edit the size of the windows, there are some minimum and maximum sizes that Belfac, so you can get them in, but they're quite broad, so we kind of feel quite comfortable that we could choose something appropriate. The other thing that we need to change quickly is, annoyingly, it brings in non-BIM compliant classes. Massive oversight. So if we could just change those to glazing, if we could change those to our glazing classes, which are APR 257133 glazing glass sheet. No, just the glazing ones. So the other ones will be the same class as the window. So if the window is in the window class, it will pick that out. If it happens to be in the door or the wall class for some reason, it would give all those things. If you needed more control, you could change them. Let me just change that. So if you needed more, so say on Pearson, where we've got some funky sort of reveals around the windows, we've got those in a specific class that lets us quickly change the color of those. But kind of for a really bog standard little house like we're working on today, we'll just keep them all at window class. And the other thing to do is you just need to go to 2D visualization, and sill, we'll change that to window class, and header, again, change that to window class. And that's quite annoying that you have to do that. We'll send that to Vectorworks, so that should be changed. So if we click, oh, and the other thing, just to go back to the classes sec. So glazing and fan light, what we'll do is we'll change those from the little, actually no, if we click OK, so that goes into the window and the window now knows it. And if we edit the settings again.
So what point in the project do you think we need to do this? Because if you're doing visibility, I'm just going to generic windows, not necessary. But
if we're doing a feasibility, we generally wouldn't be drawing windows, we'd just be doing an LED one. If we were doing level of detail 2 scheme, then we might, if it's a really big scheme, you might want to use window styles. You don't necessarily need to use the Velfac styles. You could just set up quite a generic window in Vectorworks and then save it as a style, and we'll come on to that in a second. It could be a benefit at lots of stages, really. It would, if you've got kind of lots of windows that are the same shape and size, that you may want to edit together. And then sorry, does that answer your question, Julia? Sorry? Does that answer your question? Yeah, great. So just so that we can change between frosted and clear glazing, which is important both for visualizations and also for our daylight worksheets that we've talked about in a previous workshop. We just change these to by window. That means that we can change those on a window by window basis rather than it just being its default value across the project.
So where was that?
Sorry, it was in the classes again.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that's the wrong edit. And it's just changing the little arrow on the left-hand side. You can just click that, and it will just flick between an arrow and the slidey controls. So we want it to be on slidey controls, which, yeah, you probably can't see from the screen. Okay, and the other thing, just to quickly check, you might want to do on a project is if you scroll down to the bottom of your class list, you'll see you've got your row classes, and we could just delete those.
I suppose what you could do is just to quickly, you could delete those classes and reassign them to.
You could also do that, yeah. That would probably work.
It might feed through.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure about. I feel like okay, is everyone sort of following up to that point? Has anyone got any questions? No? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so if we look at, if you've got the window selected and you look at your object info palette, what you can see is a lot of the settings that you could normally change are grayed out, and that's because it doesn't apply to this window style. So what you can do is you can tick the little box at the top underneath style, and that will hide all the parameters that you can't change, so that it makes it a little bit easier to edit. So you can see that the ID tag, we can change that. We can change the width. So we could quickly change the height, say to, I don't know, whatever you want really. We can make.
Is that built into the size?
No, it's not that clever. You'd have to look at the technical data from Velfac. But like they are available at different sizes other than the standard one. Worry about that. Okay, so and everyone's managed to change the size of the window. And then what we might want to do as well is, because this is in a lovely block wet wall, I think we might need to put a sill in, and we might also want to put in like a lintel. So these are settings that are specific to the wall that it's built into. So if you select lintel and you just tick lintel, and you notice it gives it a sort of angled lintel. Maybe not the most appropriate. You could change these settings by going into the style menu and changing them to by default, or we could change them across all the windows, so that if we gave this particular window a lintel, it would give it a particular type of lintel, which in this case is this angled one. And also sill, we want to include a sill, and we'll give it a masonry sill because it's in a masonry wall. Okay, is everyone sort of relatively familiar with how you add that? Cool. So now what we'll do is we'll add a window to our shingles wall on the top floor. So if we go into plan view, and you might want to turn off the different levels. So there's a couple of ways we could do this. We could select the style by using the magic eyedropper tool, which is holding Alt and Command, and you get a little eyedropper with a star. And if you click the window, you'll now be able to place it in the wall. So we can go up to the first floor, and we can place our window into the wall. Alternatively, you could select the window tool, and then you can active default is the default that it is, and you can click that and you can select the Velfat window, and you can then place it into the project. And you can see the one that I took from the window below has got a sill. Actually, why is that not right? Okay, magic eyedropper tool doesn't work. That's an important step in that it's lost the style information. So it's not saying that it's this Velfat window anymore. Whereas the one that I brought in from the window tool is, sorry, I hadn't practiced that before. So. Okay, so once everyone's done that, we can go back to our 3D view, or you can stay in plan view if you prefer. So now this window, what we can do is we can change the height of it maybe, or the width. So I'm going to make this a really narrow window. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Okay, and then this time we're going to add a sill. You guys all right? Yeah, it should be. No, you set a link like that. So. And then while you were editing the style, we might not think it's okay, I don't know, but is that right? So yeah, so this one, if we go to sill, and this is in a timber shingle wall, so this time we'll choose a timber windowsill to go on that one. And that one's not added, maybe that needs to be flipped. No, okay, so that's not worked for me. Why is that not worked?
I have the same one. It's not showing. But no, it doesn't have any extensions, so I don't know if it's just...
It works in the practice. Yeah, that's probably it. It might be to do with the extension. So I think my computer that I tried on this morning had a default extension. So what if we change that to 500 or something?
Oh no, it's not to do with the. It's a different type of wall buildup, isn't it? So it relates to the components typically.
But it worked this morning. You give all of these a value. And what's the critical one? 4 depth. So that's 100. And now we've got a sill. Okay, so.
It's the wrong way around. Windows facing inwards.
Yeah, that's because I just flipped it to see. Okay, so
Is it one on the inside?
Ah, the wall, yes, the wall might be flipping.
But it's
That's
definitely
what
got
it
the
is
shingles
telling.
on the outside.
The wall is to be.
no, the shingle's on the outside, so that knows that that's the outside of the wall.
I'm weirdly, if I flip the inside to the outside, I can see the inside still. Which is this arc.
Yeah, so that, as I say, that worked in practice this morning. I don't know why it's not working. Maybe give the depth something massive.
I didn't have to do that one.
Yeah, it's shown now. So
Give it 500.
yeah, so if everyone see a sill? So this is just not necessarily to do window styles, just to do general window settings. If you change the depth of the sill, and you can see that that should then it's kind of not important for this workshop, but if you're not familiar with adding a sill, then have a play around with it at some time over the next sort of couple of weeks. So we can see now we've got two windows. They're the same type because they've got the same style, but they've got different settings, different sizes, different lintels and sills depending on the wall construction. But what we can still do is we can make changes to both windows across the project. So if we go to our resource browser a second and we click edit on the window, and what I think this project probably needs is some glazing bars, some lovely Georgian glazing bars. So if we go to the glazing bar section and we'll click bottom sash, because it's a single sash window, you could choose other, you could go for Renaissance maybe, and that gives you some settings that you need to change. Doesn't like the Renaissance ones. Let's go with Georgian, I think. I'm just going to change that to 2 horizontal bars and 2 vertical bars, and I'm going to give the bars a depth of about 25 mil. Okay. And when I click OK and I hide my resource browser, you can see that both windows have now got the glazing bars. You guys all right? You follow?
I didn't work like this in the silly window.
It's what, sorry? Oh, you've got the funky one, yeah. So there'll probably be some other settings that you can change. Like you might be able to change the panels. Like you could probably change it to like a 1-panel window rather than a 2-panel. Or we could even change the shape, I think. Okay, so now we've done that, what we'll do is I don't really like the fact that these two windows are different widths, but they're the same height. So I think what we should do is, if we edit the window again, and we go to general, is we're now going to make the width of the window a by style option, and we're going to change that to 1 meter wide. And when we click OK, and we hide the resource browser, we can see that now both windows are the same width, but their heights differ. So you can go back and you can change things to by style rather than by instance. Okay, so everyone sort of follow that? And then to say what we'll do for this one is if we choose the window, go back into plan view, look at one of your windows, and we will just choose. How do we change it to a generic window now? If we can. So we just choose one of the generic windows, something relatively. Excuse me. Just say a window, tilt turn window. We'll select that, and we'll place it into the window, and we'll say right, this one. I think its class is this. So we're going to convert this to unstyled so that we can change anything we want. So for a start, we're going to make this a frosted window. It's going to be a bathroom window.
Is this in resource managers?
So this is if you click settings of your window,
Oh, right.
and then it will be all grayed out to start off with, but you can just convert it to unstyled. And you could do this with the Velfat one as well. And we're going to say, right, this one is going to be a half circle window, and it's going to be 1 meter wide, and we're going to change the glazing to be frosted glazing. So that's our other PR code here, PR obscured, and we'll click OK. So now we've got an unstyled window, and this is going to be maybe like our bathroom window or something because it's frosted. And what we can do to change that into a window style is we right click on it, and we can click new plugin style from unstyled window, or I think there's a way. Yeah, that's the easiest way, is to right click it in either plan view or free view. New plugin style, it'll ask you to put it somewhere, so we'll just put it in the main library folder, and then it'll have popped into here, and we just need to give it a name. So if you're say, working with a manufacturer's window like the Velvac, and you make a small change to it, like say the size or the fact that it's frosted or glazed, generally we'll keep it named as the manufacturer's done. But if this is our own window that we've created, we could go NMA dash W is already taken, so why don't we go window 01, and you make sure they're kind of all named. You could give it a description if you wanted to, but just try and sort of name them the same across the project and give them that NMA prefix. We click OK, and we can now see that we should be able to change our window here to, if we go to replace of our original window, you can see that the NMA window now appears in our menu to select. Okay, has anyone got any questions? That's pretty much it. You guys are right.
Yeah, just like stairs, just like anything space, like
Yeah.
you just want that. So
Yeah,
if you have a window that you know, or if you have a style work stair, you use the project you want to report. You just import that. If it's windows, or
It is from both, yeah.
any.
I should stop it, yeah. Got a bit of a lot of start where we'll get our libraries on. All right, guys, well, thanks for listening. I hope you found that useful. And yeah, like I say, it can be used at any point in the project. So it can be used at a really early stage if you've got quite a generic building with lots and lots of windows, or it can be used further on when you've, right, we're going to go for Velvac, or we're going to go for such and such a brand to make sure you've got the right windows and the right styles. So yeah, thanks for watching.
That's quite handy to do this with window types.